Good morning, welcome to my channel. My name is George Schlackhag.
The one and only.
And I'm here to learn how to ride the unicycle. This is actually my third attempt this year that I go on a Saturday or a Sunday morning to a place where I feel like there are some things that can help me, where I feel safe. Of course, I've been reviewing a few more YouTube tutorials on how to learn this. And I've come to a few conclusions that I'm going to share with you before I get into this. One guy had a video, and I don't know his name offhand, but if there's a card at the top here, that's who it is. He said all the advice that you get on YouTube usually evolves around holding on to something and then start pedaling, maybe leaning forward, whatever. But there's one guy who pointed out that maybe there's a better way, because once you know how to ride the unicycle like that, you can still not mount the unicycle unless you have that something to hold on to, and well, that's kind of limited, isn't it? So he took the approach of learning this to step onto the unicycle before you hold on to something. Like, you don't need to hold on to anything at all. You just kind of learn how to step over the unicycle, and then you learn how to step on the unicycle, and then start pedaling and increasing your revolutions. Now, last week I spent a few hours holding on to a railing. My hand was all green after that because I did it so many times, and I thought I made some pretty good progress, like getting the feel of the unicycle to actually be able to do a couple of revolutions riding this thing. But maybe it's not the way to continue right now. I'm gonna give myself a new challenge today. I'm sitting on some steps here. They are part of a high school. High schools aren't being used on Sundays, and now it's July anyway, so nobody's gonna be here for a while. I have this place to myself. When I turn this camera around in a minute, you're going to see that there's grass here, which is perhaps not the best for a smooth surface, but I'm not a big fan of protective equipment because I always get the feeling that it restricts my range of motion in some way. And even the helmet, to some extent, I feel like it puts me into a kind of capsule that I'm way too aware of. Well, maybe it's just a matter of being used to it, but anyways, I didn't bring it. What I did bring is my running shoes instead of the sandals, because I think that's essential for a good grip on the pedals, which apparently is important for the unicycle. So here I am. I'm gonna give this an hour or two to see how far I can get today. Don't know how far it's gonna go. Is that fair enough? According to the theoretical lessons that I've consumed on YouTube, it's important to put the pedal on the 45-degree angle, sort of, when measured against the ground, so that when against the step, you step on the pedal and the unicycle cannot roll back. The idea is to step on the pedal, but then transfer your weight onto the seat right away, and then just step over it like this. So now you're gonna do this until your butt gets sore or until you get comfortable with it. So I did this religiously, thinking that this was gonna bring me the unicycle riding glory within another half hour or so, right? Well, I think you all get the idea, and at this point I thought, well, this is so easy, I got this, so I moved on to the next challenge. The idea is pretty much the same, except now I'm stepping on the second pedal. And then all I'm doing is stepping right off. According to YouTube wisdom, this is going to teach me how to step off the unicycle properly and always land on my feet. Now what you see here, how do I say this? The seat is not really shaped in a way that accommodates all my body parts very well. So yeah, this hurt a little bit. But a little bit of pain in the groin ain't gonna slow me down, I promise you. So this made me a little nervous. Let's look at it in a slow motion to see exactly what happened. See, I'm stepping onto the unicycle on the second pedal and I try to move it. So the weight, my body weight, shifts backwards and I start to fall backwards. Well, I can still do it that way. Need to release some tension. So the problem that I found with this step is not the step itself, it's actually quite good. It's the transition between where the stairs end and the grass begins. There's a dip there. And well, it kind of gives me a little bit of confidence to step over the unicycle like I done. But I think it's going to create a big problem starting to pedal. And that's really the end goal, is to pedal this thing and move. Now, I have to find something else where I can launch it just like that, but where there's no dip of that sort. One thing would be to bring a piece of firewood or a brick or something and then go on the grass. The other would be to just try it on the concrete, again, without any protective equipment. Just looking if there's dog poo down there. Don't seem to be. Anyways, I'll figure this out and I'll get back to you. I found what I thought to be a perfect place and I kept doing the same thing over and over and over, hoping to make some progress that way. So for the most part, I'm okay with stepping onto the unicycle, both pedals, and then stepping off. But there was some pain to be endured. Yeah, that wasn't the end of it. Watch this. So yeah, I definitely got some new scratches to prove that I've been practicing. But I'm finding a problem here with the surface. I just can't get going, and I think to some extent that's because I don't know how, but yeah, it's just, it's too rough here. I think I got no choice but to go back on the concrete, and I'm not really prepared for that. Call me dumb, but I'm learning the hard way. I think I told you that before, so I'm definitely gonna bring my helmet and some long pants next time. I did okay on the running shoes. I think that makes a difference. That allows me to get a better grip on the pedals, well, at least in theory. There's a railing over there, so it goes downwards. So I'm gonna try to cycle up the railing, probably with holding on like I did last week. It's got both sides, so yeah, I gotten tired of doing this. Even though the mounting part, I think it's not bad, it's going okay, but it's the stepping on the pedals and actually going somewhere. You know, if you're falling off like 100 times, that is kind of like enough for a day, even though I wasn't here that long. It's not gonna be a quick fix. I'm starting to realize that. Yeah, this railing, it's part of a wheelchair ramp, and the problem with it is obviously that it's not flat. Riding up was impossible. I couldn't pull it off. Riding down, yeah, I can, but the slope was making it really difficult to let go of the railing. What about using the railing just as a launch point and then try to pedal? See, I tried it quite a few times, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Instead, there's some special effects here for you. Yeah, I don't know if I should even continue today. I think, maybe just a little bit. Yeah, I hit my my calf there for the second time. It doesn't really feel so nice. Coming down this ramp, it's easy to get to pedal, but it's not easy to let go of the railing. And letting go of the railing is the whole point. I could do that for a very short moment, but then I have to grab it again, and otherwise I'll just fall. And then there's the railing on both sides of me, and that, you know, hitting the railing with your head or something, that could be kind of nasty, wouldn't it? So I don't really want to injure myself. I can't afford it. That's the point. But I mean, I can afford some scratches, and I got some today. First of all, I think I really need to protect my joints and my head, because this ain't gonna come like this. I was hoping that after what I accomplished last week, that today perhaps I'd hop on it. And you know those videos that you see on YouTube where a guy just learns it in 2 hours? I don't know about that, guys. I mean, I don't know how honest this really is, unless they had some previous experience with something similar. But yeah, my greatest fear right now is falling backwards. Forward, I can land on my feet and it's okay most of the time. I mean, yeah, it's still there's still a risk, but I think falling backwards is my greatest fear. And as you probably observed, you go backwards as soon as you don't lean forward fast enough. Actually, the truth is that trying to pedal down the wheelchair ramp was a really bad idea, because you cannot control this amount of gravity when you can't even control the unicycle by itself on a level surface. Now, what I do here, using a goal to get me started, was actually a pretty good idea. The only problem here was that the ground was soft, muddy, so it didn't go very far. But next time, when the weather is drier, then I'll try this again. Okay, I'm calling it quits for today. To be honest with you, I'm a bit disappointed in myself today. There's really nothing to celebrate other than that I spent an hour and a half, 2 hours trying to get some sense of balance on this thing. Yeah, what I really need is to practice on the pavement like this. That's why I came over here. When you see this surface here, let me show you. See, this is probably the perfect surface to practice this. But I've already earned my scratches for today, and I don't want to take this too much further. So what I really need to do is to get some protective equipment. Maybe it's just long pants. I feel pretty safe in my hoodie. I mean, maybe I should wear an older one. This is one of my good ones. And an old pair of pants. I have actually a pair of padded pants that are quite old and torn already. So I don't know, why didn't I do that this morning? I just maybe in the morning I don't think straight. Whatever, you know. I'm gonna go home, have another cup of coffee, eat some breakfast, and well, I'll be back, I promise you. But shit, now I am starting to realize that maybe this isn't as easy as I thought it was.